Good morning, everyone. Let's call court to order. Is there a motion to accept this report for recording purposes?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Years ago, I still do the same thing. I'm sure.
Put on the agenda, I don't know about, or is this all? All the TV stations are in part.
Yeah, car is on the hearing, but also we have reports from Bureau and also the Sports Commission.
So that's why the TV stations are here.
Yes, they saw the, if you did something on hold.
I'll ask you the same thing.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
We're good, thank you.
Recording in progress.
Can everyone please join me in the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the
flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. Thank you. And because I don't think we would have any public comment on this emergency situation, I'm going to do it first, and then we'll go to public comments on anything other than the park study. All right, going to the supplemental emergency meeting for the McLennan County Commissioners Court. Dustin, do you want to go over that?
Yes, sir, and then we'll have Zane add in. So we posted an emergency supplemental agenda because immediate action is required due to an imminent threat to public health and safety and a reasonably unforeseeable situation. Specifically, Cal Bayou Site Number 5 is approximately 4 feet from cresting the emergency spillway. Additional rain could cause water to crest the emergency spillway, and water could flow around the dam, inundating any structure, including homes in the path downstream. This same problem also exists on other dams in the area, and this emergency action is intended to cover those dams also. So the action item for the court today is to grant an exemption from competitive bidding under section 262.024A2 of the Texas Local Government Code and enter into a contract or contracts with Moore Watershed Services LLC for work meant to prevent downstream flooding on Cal Bayou Site Number 5 and other dams that present a danger of flooding as determined by the county engineer and approved by the county judge. Zane, is there anything you'd like to add?
Dustin, you did a very good job of explaining the situation. There is an imminent threat to flooding for those that are inundated from the backwaters, from the rains, and then also if it were to crest the emergency spillway, it would inundate and/or flood homes down that are existing in the emergency spillway downstream of the dam. So I'm happy to answer any questions the judge or the court may have.
Locations, or those locations?
Those locations are Cal Bayou Site Number 5, which is down by Bruceville, and then the other is a dam that's on Snyder Road up in Precinct 3, near the Road and 3 Bridge yard.
Okay.
So basically, the drawdowns are filled up. Is that silted over? Is that correct?
So there is a drawdown pipe, and those pipes are currently running pretty full, but it's not
Not enough?
not enough. And so the rains and the flooding is coming faster than the drawdowns can operate. And so we need to add additional drawdown measures to help relieve the impoundment of water quicker.
That would be siphoning or
That's correct.
pumping and those kinds of.
Yes.
Whatever it takes to get it done.
That's correct.
All right. Any other questions or comments? What's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose, pass. Thank you.
Judge, thank you. You bet.
Okay, at this time, if there's anyone here to make a public comment other than the pertaining to the study on the parks or any of the other reports that will be given, the Travel and Tourism and the Sports Commission, if there's anyone that wants to speak to other matters, business matters pertaining to the court, please do so at this time. Okay, seeing none, I'd like to go to, under proclamations and resolutions, This is a proclamation recognizing May 19th through the 25th, 2024 as Travel and Tourism Week. And Dustin, if you would read the proclamation, and I would ask those representatives to come forward, and I can present this to them, just come right in front of this bench here. And we will, and then I'll come around, and if you want to take pictures or whatever, we can do that. So Dustin, may proceed.
Yes, sir. This is a proclamation of the Commissioners Court of McLennan County, Texas, recognizing May 19th to the 25th, 2024 as Travel and Tourism Week. Whereas travel and tourism has been a consistent driver of McLennan County's economy and workforce, and whereas a robust travel and tourism industry provides significant economic benefits for McLennan County and the nation, generating $70 million in tax receipts in 2022, up 5.8% over 2021, and $200 million in earnings, up 9.5% over 2021. And whereas travel and tourism has been the foundation of a healthy workforce in McLennan County, supporting 6,000 jobs, up 1.4% over 2021. And whereas spending by travelers in McLennan County has aided state and local governments alike, generating $783 million in tax revenue in 2022, up 12% over 2021 to support essential services and programs. And whereas the travel and tourism industry is a major economic driver for McLennan County and the state of Texas. And now therefore be it proclaimed that the Commissioners Court of McLennan County does hereby proclaim May 19th to the 25th, 2024 as Travel and Tourism Week in McLennan County, and encourage all residents and businesses to welcome those visiting our fine county. And be it further proclaimed that a copy of this proclamation be made a permanent part of the minutes of the Commissioners Court. Judge?
All right, thank you. What's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to, second.
Go right ahead.
Motion to approve.
We'll sort that out. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose, pass. All right, well, thanks so much for everything y'all do, and if you want to turn and face the audience and say anything, well, please do so.
Well, Judge, it's normal, I had like a half-hour presentation ready for you.
Well, we'll save that for another time.
But I'll pass on that one and just say, tourism's great for this county.
Yes, it is.
And you know it is, and we're just honored to come and be able to talk about it a little bit and represent it, so.
Well, thank you, and of course, the county is beneficiary on
Absolutely.
this because, as y'all may recall, the venue project that we did out at the fairgrounds, the base, couldn't happen without the help of the motel business, and the car rental, folks as well, and so that's proven to be a very successful project, so.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Okay. Photo op. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge,
All
appreciate it.
right, y'all have a good day.
Thank
you.
Thank you. Appreciate everything y'all do. All right. Let's go to items M7, A through B. This is regarding the McLennan County Parks and Recreation Open Space Master Plan. And this will be a discussion on our public comments on the master plan and consideration of and approval of a resolution adopting the 2024 into 2034 McLennan County Parks Recreation Open Space Master Plan, including the needs, assessments, and priorities outlined in the master plan. So Mr. Rick Tullis is a member of the group and appreciate, in fact, all the people that served on this committee. I see Pete Rowe. Who else was here? Rick? And, yeah, okay, yeah.
Well, don't get ahead of me. I'm going to introduce him in a second,
I'm
Judge.
sorry.
Come on.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, Judge, Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Smith, great to see you guys this morning. Another beautiful day in McLennan County. And so I want to thank you on behalf of the committee for allowing us to do this work. as you had started, let me introduce, I got to serve as chairman. Yost Zachary, if they'll each please stand back there and identify themselves. Yost Zachary was the vice chair. Members included Tim Holtkamp, Pete Rowe, and Rick Wegworth. Please stand up.
All right. Thank y'all for your service.
Absolutely.
So we got the opportunity to work with Mundo and Associates over the last 7 months, and I'm going to put this in front of you guys for consideration. Of note on some of the inputs into the report, into the plan. We look at demographics, noting that the county has grown 11% over the last 10 years. We put forth a community survey, which had a very robust 1,063 comments and responses on that. So really good response rate. And I would say of that, 97% of the respondents indicated how important it is for the county to provide parks and trails and assist other local governments in expanding their facilities as well. The community definitely believes funding parks and recreation is important to provide safe activities, encourage health and fitness, and economic development, which I know you guys are very keen on. One of the things that came out of there, 52% of McLennan County residents, if you look at our demographics, are within a 10-minute walk of a public park. That's pretty good, could be better. It also, if you dig into some of the details of the report, I think one thing that was notable is we exceed the National Parks recommendation for the number of acres in our county per resident, which is something I think we should be proud of. We do have a good heritage here in McLennan County of providing spaces. Now, a lot of that is we're the beneficiary of the land around the lake and some other things. And so our distribution's not great, but we do have a lot of assets, and that's good. So definitely one of the goals of the master plan is increase accessibility, offer more diverse facilities, enhance the use of the facilities that are already in possession, and provide more linkages through trails and whatnot, not only with yours, but also the other communities, including City of Waco. Some of the recommendations, the top recommendations, include enhancing facilities at Trading House Lake. You guys know how important that facility has been. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of great comments on that. I would say, my observation was there's a big list, and so there's going to need to be some prioritization, maybe some strategic thinking in that, and we would definitely suggest putting together a group to help make that happen, putting together some interested parties in another committee, standing committee. Another point was, like I mentioned a minute ago, specifically to Trading House Lake, is a trail connection to some of the Waco parks, and getting that connected. There were comments and a lot of actually respondents commenting on indoor sports. And we've got some great momentum at the base, and as finances allow, maybe in growing some of the indoor sporting opportunities there, as well as there was a large number of respondents looking for a natatorium, some swimming facilities. I think it's been talked about before in our community. We really don't have very many pools anymore, public pools. And how we attack that, maybe through some public-private partnership, maybe led by the county, would be maybe a future priority. And lastly, and there's a lot more in the report, but lastly, I will say it goes down and breaks down per each community, and each of them have individual priorities, so please take a look at those and see what works for you guys. So with that being said, as a committee, we voted at our last meeting to recommend to the Commissioners Court that you guys accept and adopt the 2024 to 2034, it's a 10-year plan, McLennan County Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Master Plan. And there have been additional comments that were added from our public hearing that are on the online portion. So please feel free to review that as well. We'll take any questions you have or get things moving. What's your pleasure?
Well, and I know one thing that this, by us adopting this study, this gets us a long way towards accepting grants that are maybe out there, Parks and Wildlife and others, that could help. Everything that was mentioned in this report are important, and it's gonna take time to do them. So, you know, the priorities are gonna be important in the thought process of this, and then it's probably gonna take some match funding from the county. So preparation for that, I think, I mean, I know the general feeling of the commissioners. Tell me if I miss anything, is that, you know, we look at that as a real asset. We leased it for many years, and we were able to acquire it from the lake owner. And so we want to do something with it, and that's, you know, that's important. But there's other areas that were brought out, like, you know, Bellmead has a need to move out of the flood area. It's pointed out in the study. So I think all those things will be on our plate to deal with in the future. Any other thoughts on that?
No, I certainly want a chance to digest the report. It seems to be very thorough and very complete. Appreciate the work that y'all put into it, absolutely. We've got some great venues here currently, and the opportunity to add more venues for recreation, improved way of life for our citizens. And I agree with the idea of prioritizing needs at Trading House and seeing a checklist. Let's get this done in a list, and then also prioritizing the needs for the entire county and trying to work through them. We know it's not going to happen overnight, but at least we have a starting point. And funding available, state funding, federal funding, local support. Maybe we can get some of that checklist accomplished then.
Yeah.
So that would be the idea. So really appreciate the work that has gone into it, absolutely.
You're welcome.
And before I ask for public comment, Dustin, so it's your understanding that with the adoption, for us to accept this, then that sets the table for the next step. So you might briefly go over that.
That's right. We would then move on and work with Mundo. I believe the first thing would be actually applying for a Texas Parks and Wildlife Development grant for Trading House Lake Park. So that would be the next step. So Judge, I think if you want to take any public comments on it before the adoption,
Okay.
that would be good.
All right.
So I would like to just
Yeah.
thank the committee for all your hard work. I know there were several meetings, and that's not, sometimes cannot be fun, just trying to get everybody's schedule together and stuff like that. But I appreciate y'all's work and commitment to our open spaces, and I'm really looking forward to moving forward with this plan and going after those grant opportunities.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we'll open the hearing, or the public comment. It's really, the hearing has already happened, but public comment, if anyone wants to speak to this, come forward. Give us your name and your address. And then you can make your comments, try to keep them in a couple of minutes, and we'll go from there. So whoever wants to come forward, please come forward. Thank you, Rick.
Come on down.
All right.
There we go.
Somebody got to come forward.
I had a feeling you might be, so if I was.
Do I not have to swear in or anything, Judge?
I've swore at you plenty of times, so I don't think it's necessary.
I just want to compliment the county on the foresight of taking advantage of what we now have at Trading House. I did not know how much of a gem Trading House was until I got involved in rowing, which I'm not a rower, and I wonder about that. But it's a beautiful spot, and the improvements that have been done, of course, I didn't see it before the improvements, but I'm worried with what was Lake Fairfield that was lost to a developer, and I'm not sure if you're working on it, but I did read that the state had set aside $1 billion to purchase parkland and such, and I'd hope that we in McLennan County could put together some type of an approach to, and maybe it's already happening, I don't know. I do want one quick pitch. We do use Trading House for a sprint course race. We've hosted the Texas Championships now twice. I'd like to move that date because it's spawning, as I understand it, for crappie and bass out there when we have our race. But we hope that we can utilize it. We've had several colleges and universities come to McLennan County, and they spend a lot of money when they come down rolling. It's not an inexpensive sport. But anyway, congratulations on where you are with respect to Trading House, and I appreciate the effort the county's done. When I was growing up, it wasn't for county parks and things. We wouldn't have had any place to play. So we appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Good point. And we do track those hotel stays, and as you know, as I mentioned before, we get a percentage of the hotel to go towards our venue, which is a benefit, not directly to the park, but indirectly, which is important to us. So we want to encourage that. And I know, like, some events maybe kind of bump into each other a little bit, but you know, we're going to work to be sure. Lake access is a big thing, so we'll work on that. Yes, sir.
I'm Andy Crawford. I live on 1674 Summerfield in Hallsburg. We've been out there for 30 years. Also the pastor of the church out there. As I spoke the other day about the improvements on the lakes, how we would like to see, of course, the roads fixed going to the lake, and water, electricity, and I've heard more lighting. We would love to have more lighting. And as I sat here the other day hearing about the other things that is needed, recreationals and everything, and buildings and all of this, and I agree with all of that. But what we had to experience in our family is my daughter sitting behind me, when her baby was 2 years old, she had a brain tumor. We could not go to any buildings where there was a lot of people. We had to stay in the outdoor recreational for her to have anything to be able to do things fun or anything. So the more improvements we could get out there, we use the lake all the time now. We would use it more, and you know, and I think more people would. Right now, it's an overflood of people out there, which we love, because of the other lakes are being shut down and stuff because of the rain. Ours has always been open. So even when the water is low, people are still out there camping. So if we could get the more improvements we could get, we would love it out there.
Thank you very much. All right. Good morning.
Morning. Larry Dawson, 1037 Wilbanks Drive in Hallsburg. And I drove around the lake this weekend, and every campsite, every little pavilion they built out there, picnic tables and all, was used. And then they was setting up just any way they could to anywhere else to use the lake. And I was watching the kids, they put them on a hill, they put them a little tarp or something, and they were sliding down it into the water. And I thought that was really impressive to me, that the way the lake gets used, not only does it help Hallsburg, but it helps all the surrounding areas around us, because these bass fishermen and all, they had to stop somewhere to get their gas for their boats. They use a different gas than what the store out there in Hallsburg uses. And so they get their ice and beer and soda water and everything else. So not only does it help Trading House, but it helps every little surrounding area around. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Others? Okay. Mike Vogler. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Mike Vogler with the Greater Waco Sports Commission. I just wanted to say thank you again to the county for taking the initiative to put together this committee and to be able to put together this 10-year plan for parks and facilities. As a sports commission, obviously, we understand both the value economically that sports and activities can deliver to the county, but also the health and wellness that it can provide. And so I think we've already heard a couple of the different testimonies here today today of both of those. And so the primary thing is I just want to make sure that the county knows that the Sports Commission wants to be able to be a resource and wants to be able to be helpful in all endeavors. One of the initiatives that we've formed this past year, and Commissioner Jim Smith knows as one of our board members, is we've formed a facilities committee. And so that meets quarterly to be able to take an inventory of the facilities that we have here in this county, not only recreationally and park-wise, but also just, of course, indoor, outdoor activities. And so we want to make sure that we're a resource that we're utilizing all the resources, that we're being good stewards of them. And so, again, the primary reason that I want to be able to come up here is also just to be able to stress, I think, from our conversations and our research, just to support the claim that Rick made is a natatorium would be very, very big for this community. The idea of teaching not only youth, but also adults how to swim for drowning prevention. And so that's, there's a drowning prevention coalition here that has members from the Hot Rack, from hospitals, Sigma Swimming, a bunch of different agencies that want to make sure that one drowning is too many drownings in this community. And so how can we help make sure that folks from all walks of life can be able to enjoy exactly what we just talked about, the lakes, the rivers, and even the pools. And so not only can they get these recreational activities, but again, the economics of it. I think that the Waco Rowing Center has done a phenomenal job of hosting these regattas and being able to build out the programming here. And so that's also shown the economic development. And so we just want to, again, continue to be able to activate people not only indoors, but also outdoors with the water. Our board has continued to grow, and one of our key board members or new additions is a gentleman named by Russ Bookbinder, and so he's here, and so I'm going to let him introduce himself real quick as well.
Sorry.
Good morning. My name is Russ Bookbinder. Live at 14022 RW Court in Woodway, and moved here about a year and a half ago with my wife Tammy to get closer to her family, and retired from work. But I spent 30 years in San Antonio, 20 as the executive vice president for the San Antonio Spurs, and 10 as the president and CEO of the Sports Commission for San Antonio. So worked closely with our county judge, Nelson Wolf, and Bexar County, as well as our city, on facilities. We created 13 new youth sports facilities in the county and worked with nonprofits to operate and maintain those. It was a great program. Also, Bexar County and Northside Independent School District built a premier swimming facility with collaboration that's used both by the school districts, teaching swim safety, and it provided a venue to host USA Swimming's nationals, their juniors, USA Masters Swimming. We hosted the Olympic team going to Rio for their training camp. So these types of facilities, when you collaborate, are great impact for the community. And the rowing facility is, Waco's got a great resource to take advantage. So I think that would be a great project. Also, the National Public Trust for Land, their recommendations of having parks within 10 minutes of walking distance. And I commend Rick and his committee for all of the work they've done. One of the programs that worked great for us was a school park program. So working together with school districts and the city and county public entities to turn elementary schools into school parks. We raised funds, built walking tracks, but that also added to that volume that increased the number of families that had access to park space. But I'm here now. I'm working with Mike, and anything I can do to be helpful, I'm thrilled, and look forward to working with y'all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate you serving in that capacity. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Arlene, and I've been out in the Summerfield area for a number 45-ish years. And the agenda item prior to this for today was recognizing the tourist and travel and the $780 million that I brought to McLennan County. Well, and now the Trading House improvements goes right along with that. So there's no question that that's certainly needed for Trading House. And to begin with all of these improvements, we do need to have the roads and the lake access, the boat ramps level to make these wonderful improvements worthwhile for someone to come out. So anything you all can do to improve the roads, the McLennan County, the Trading House parks, and the boat ramps so that they're up to speed, not just when we have a flood, but always available, would be great. Thank you all.
Thank you. I will make one comment regarding the roads out there. There is an effort led by Tracy Guillory to work with City of Hallsburg on the city portion, the interlocal agreement, to put priority around those roads that access into the park area. And so that will be in our late 2024 and 25 plan. And I know Google Maps, Rick and I have talked about this, direct people to come through a different, come through the worst road. And so we have to get that, two things fixed. One, get Google corrected, but the other, and I don't know how you do that, magic, but and then the other would be Precinct 2, putting that as a priority. So thank you for mentioning that. That supports what we want to do. All right, others? Well, again, I appreciate all y'all's involvement, especially the committee, and if there's, we will, if we adopt this plan, then that sets us up to start what action the court wants to take at that point.
Certainly, another special thank to Mundo and Associates for what they've done and the work they did putting all this together.
Absolutely, yep. Anything else? All right, and you're welcome to stay and watch the sausage made, or you are excused. Thank you. And so, so just to deal with this, what's the pleasure of the court?
So I make a motion that we approve a resolution adopting the 2024-2034 McLennan County Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Master Plan.
Second.
All right, I have a motion second. All in favor say aye. 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 Opposed? Pass. We're going to work on it. Thank y'all. Hook them in the mouth. See ya. Rick, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, next, I'd like to go to item M12. This has to do with regarding the local provider participation fund, a discussion and/or action on declaration of intent for the intergovernmental transfer regarding the Comprehensive Hospital Increase Reimbursement Program, or CHIRP program. All right, Dustin?
Yes, sir, Judge. So we have two representatives from AHCV on to discuss this, Justin Flores and Michael Neal. So I'd like to call on them, and also Heather Travers.
Good
Yes,
morning.
thanks, Dustin. Good morning. So we have Justin Flores here from AHCV to further explain the request for the declaration of intent and to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay.
Yeah, so before I get into the declaration of intent, I'll just kind of briefly update everybody on how HHSC likes to move forward with respect to the CHIRP program. And so as you guys know, McLennan County LPPF funds the CHIRP intergovernmental transfers for the private hospitals there in McLennan County. And HHSC every year needs for the local government or sponsoring government entities like the McLennan County LPPF to commit to fund the IGTs that HHSC has projected will be called for. And so this is largely a formality that HHSC has in place so that they can be given reasonable assurance that local sponsoring government entities will fund the IGTs for the hospitals for the CHIRP program. Additionally, this is also done for the TIPS and RAPS program. And so you guys should additionally be seeing information from AHCV with respect to the RAPS program as well. And so I'm available to help answer any questions should you have them, but this is pretty standard, but we're able to answer any questions that you guys may have.
All right, any questions?
I got a good one.
Okay.
Justin, how much money comes back to the hospitals of these dollars that we
that you're committing to
that we IGT all the time? Because we do this all the time, and it seems, I hope it's working well, and I hope they're seeing some sort of benefit.
Yeah, no, definitely seeing a ton of benefit for this particular program. The CHIRP program, I think we're asking that McLennan County commit to fund $18 million for this specific program.
And I want to caution you when you say that we're not funding it. This is money that the hospitals are actually are funding or giving us to give to the government. Correct. Yeah, we're just a transfer.
Correct. These are assessments that providers pay into the LPPF that are then used to draw down federal funds. And so the dollars for this particular program, the CHIRP program, amount to about $18 million that would need to be transferred to HHSC in order to draw down those federal dollars. That 18 million that would be sent up would probably draw down close to about 40 million for the hospitals. And so again, largely a formality that HHSC just needs all government entities across the state to kind of commit to funding. And so that's just for CHIRP. Commissioner Jones, I think that's you. I can't quite see the picture, but I feel like that's you. And overall, though, that's just a small portion of the dollars that are brought down or that the hospitals are able to receive. This is just for one program of the 4 that get funded via the McLennan County LPPF.
It's great.
I'd be happy to get you a larger number if that's something that you would like.
I would love any, so we did this, we had this legislation passed in
2015, yeah.
2015. So that's almost 10 years now. It'd be good to see what type of impact it has had on the for the providers.
Yeah, no, we can definitely get with Ascension and Baylor Scott and White and get something sent over. I know that this has been something that's been talked about in the past, and I know that we've just been up to our eyeballs, if I'm being 100% honest, in all of the different legislation and all of the different program changes that have occurred. And so apologies for that, and we can definitely look to get you something to have.
And so I just wonder if the mental health district, if the mental health could also participate in any of these. Are there any specific programs that they can possibly?
Yeah, there are a few programs that are out there for. There's one called DPP BHS, which stands for Directed Payment for Behavioral Health Services. That is a tricky one, just because there are some qualifications that it's not hospital specific. It would be for different types of community health clinics, and we can get you more information there. But I think that's something that we could definitely look into. And if you could pass on some of these facilities that maybe you're referring to, I could look to see if that's.
Sure, it's the McLennan County Behavioral Network. It's the old MHMR. So
okay, yeah. There's a few MHMRs that are flowing into that DPP BHS program. It's not a large program, but again, I know that every dollar helps. And so to the extent that I would really value that list so that we could maybe get with them to see if that's something that they were looking at wanting to participate in.
Sure.
All right. Okay.
Judge, I wanted to just make one clarification.
Yes, ma'am.
Justin, when you and I were visiting about the request for the commitment, there's a commitment process and a funding process. And the commitment process, in the event that one of the entities within the SDA do not fund, McLennan is saying they will fund from the LPPF, correct?
So at this time, I will say that every government entity within Mercer Central has committed at this point. And so even the small publics that can be a little bit trickier to kind of herd cats, if you will. But at this point, I don't foresee any issues. There haven't been, like I mentioned, Heather, many issues with certain smaller public hospitals being unable to fund. And so, but to the extent that that smaller hospitals can't fund their portion of the IGT, we would obviously want to bring in the hospitals, not just in McLennan, but also the hospitals in Bell and Brazos to gauge whether or not they would want to kind of come to assist, as all the dollars that are funded in Mercer Central, if let's say there was $100 need and $1 didn't get funded, then that means that everyone loses 1%. And so just wanting to ensure that hospitals on a regional basis I know typically Baylor and Ascension are not all right with that. And so I just know that there is the potential that could happen, but it hasn't happened in a while.
Okay. And the reason I wanted to mention it, with an $18 million funding transfer, if the LPPF does not have sufficient funds, we're committing to funding something that potentially the balance in the account is not sufficient to fund. So that's just, I wanted to mention that.
Yeah, and also to clarify, because I think that it's worth mentioning, if you notice on the intent to fund form, there's one IGT that would be due in June and one IGT that would be due in November. And we're, at HCV, as we represent the private hospitals, we would never let it be that hospitals would not have the dollars in the account in order to fund these programs, because they're vital to be able to continue to provide care to the most vulnerable patients in the state, and McLennan County as well. And so I know that's been the question across the state, truly, Heather, because it's something that even with your neighbors in Bell County, I mean, I think they are being asked to commit to close to $60 million. And so, I mean, like, that's dollars they don't have in the account at this very moment, but we expect them to have it in the account in 3 weeks when the next IGT is, or when the advanced IGT is called, and then in November when we're able to set a new rate for hospitals to be able to transfer or for you guys to be able to transfer the dollars on behalf of the providers in November.
Okay, any other questions? Yes, sir.
A couple of questions. It mentions here that this declared amount is non-binding. Non-binding on whom?
It's mostly just an estimate at this point. HHSC isn't saying that hospitals must IGT this amount or else type of a thing. It's mostly HHSC's acknowledgement that these figures could change, and they're not holding anyone in a place to say like fund or else. They're cognizant to the state in which hospitals are in statewide. It's not always easy, but I think that's mostly what it is. It's just saying that these numbers could change.
Okay. And then secondly, is this program in lieu of or in addition to public health districts that are taxpayer funded?
We don't have one.
We don't have one. So is this because we don't have or is this totally separate from that concept?
Yep, totally separate. This program is for all public and non-public hospitals. I want to stress that it's a hospital program. And so, but for example, just to make an example of it, Parkland, which is the Dallas County Hospital District, they also participate in this program, along with JPS, which is Tarrant County Hospital District. But this program is specific for hospitals.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
So this is good. This is good because both of our hospitals are private hospitals. They're not.
Right.
They're not. They're privately
not funded through any taxpayer funding. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay, is there,
Oh,
what-
sure. I'll make a motion to approve the
comprehensive
Comprehensive
hospital increase reimbursement program?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Pass. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for the explanation.
All right, let's go back to the top of the agenda. So I have recommendation pulls here from the consent agenda, which is E3A, E3B, E3E, E3D, and E3,
C.
yeah, I'm sorry, E3C, and then D, and then E. Thank you.
A, B, C, D, E.
A, B, C, D, E, correct, under 3. Is there any other recommended pulls? If not, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of those pulled previously mentioned?
So moved.
Second.
That motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Pass. All right, going to E3A, under precinct 2 vacancy, no action required on that. And then under E3B, HR matter for IT. So, Anna?
Are we pulling that with no action also?
No, we're going to discuss it. The one we pull with no action, that is precinct, the E3A.
Okay, I was just reading the bottom of that. Okay.
So on the IT item,
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
I think we're waiting on the summary of evaluations to the court that HR is compiling, which
I
is.
have turned mine in.
Yes, you did. I have to summarize it and average out scores, and then I'll provide that summary to the court for review to help determine their decision on the IT item. So that's still.
So we would defer, okay? All right,
Judge, it would actually be okay. I think it'd be okay to pull this one with no action and then
Okay.
consider that under the department head review salary item that's next, which will be deferred.
all
If
right.
that
Well,
makes sense.
yeah, we'll pull with no action. All right. Next would be the E3C, it's department head evaluations.
So we're going to defer that, you're saying, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, motion to defer.
Second.
Motion and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. All right, next would be E3D, HR matter for auditor.
I have here a request from Francis to fill a vacancy, a new vacancy prior to the exhaustion of paid time off that's accrued currently by the exiting employee. It's an accounts payable position. The position will be vacant as of May 31st and is not expected to exhaust paid time off until July 17th. And the county auditor requests the ability to fill this vacancy as soon as possible. The position is number 441, County Auditor Assistant 1, Accounts Payable.
So my only question is, kind of brings maybe another subject to mind, is managing PTO. Is this normal to have this many days? I mean, we prorate those PTO days over the time of the year. In other words, it's prorated depending on when the vacancy occurs, right? They don't get the whole year PTO the first day.
Right. PTO is accrued and earned per pay period.
Okay.
So it's not given all at once. Some of our employees that have been here for decades do have these larger balances
Didn't we pay off some of those though?
related to comp time.
That was comp time. That's when we were trying to end comp time and switch to PTO. But I can see us getting into.
Now we're getting in the same boat
So,
though.
so it's a deferred liability is the way I'm
Right.
looking at it, and not picking on this particular position, but just across the board, are we managing those so they don't?
We don't have a policy that says you can only accrue.
Carry over?
how many hours?
There's a maximum accrual of PTO, and so, and anything
use
over
it or
that
lose
goes
it?
into Family Medical Leave Bank. Family Medical Leave Bank is not paid out. And then comp time is paid out on an annual basis to not accrue these large sums of comp time. So there have been changes to mitigate some of that long time accrual balances.
So a lot of entities that have PTO say that any carryover over the year has to be used by, let's say, the first quarter, by the end of the first quarter. In other words, because otherwise it could be a management issue in that department. If that person said, I'm gonna take all this time for PTO and the department head is busy, I mean, it's a busy time and they can't allow them to do it,
Right.
then it just creates, or allows them to do it, but they've got to pick up their work while that's happening. So Francis, did you want to weigh in on any of this?
Oh, I just specifically, I mean, I know you're all are talking about this generally as well, but specifically for our office, the workload is so much that people sometimes just, they're not able to take off and keep up. And I know this specific employee has also lost time because they were, at the max. And so they're giving up PTO time, if not used, but just unfortunately, that's where that one falls. So
Yeah, it's an unintended consequence.
What's the max PTO you can accrue
240 hours.
240.
in a career?
Right. That's just
In
the
your whole-
maximum balance.
Your whole time of employment here?
Right.
240.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything over 240 is lost.
It's not lost, it rolls into the family
Rolls into
medical
family
leave,
medical, right.
which can accrue up to 480 hours.
Somebody could.
So between both balances,
So
Full PTO
40
and then carry over.
So they could-
40-hour week.
So they could have they could have 4 8
both balances, it's 18
60
weeks.
days.
That's is that 6 months? Is that what?
I like
240,
what you're saying.
240 hours,
You gotta use
240
it by
days.
the first quarter.
What are we saying?
240 hours.
240 hours, 40-hour week.
So I'm sorry, were you
No, I was trying to
do the math?
do the math. I was
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
do the math.
okay. Well, so, for this particular deal, I mean, it's needed, this place needs to be filled. I make a motion, we approve this request. I would like to add it, though, in the discussion when we have a retreat
Okay.
sometime, where we can talk about that and just reevaluate. We may be doing everything just exactly the way, we have no other choice, but let's talk about that.
Second your motion.
All right, I have a motion, second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass. All right, thank you. All right, going, let's see, what's the next one?
E.
All right, under E3E is HR matter for the engineer's office.
I have here, I'm just requesting clarification for the court's intention with the assistant county engineer position. So last court session on May 7th, the court approved a request to create a new full-time position under the county engineer's office. This position was intended to help support functions performed by the existing assistant county engineer position that's been vacant. And I'm coming back and asking for clarification on the intention for the existing assistant county engineer position. The county engineer would like and is requesting to keep both positions and hire into both positions pending, qualified applicants. And HR just typically provides 5 years worth of work volume data to help justify a need for an add to staff on a long-term basis. And we've attempted to work with the county engineer's office to get some of that work volume data from activity reports for the last 5 years, even pulling information related to public customer service traffic through phone logs and even property counts for the county from the appraisal district from current roles. And we don't have any information compiled from that would show an increase in trend in work volume. So absent that, I would not be able to recommend anything to the court in this situation, would have them rely on Zane's accounts their work volume.
Okay. And in fact, Zane and I, and Dustin met yesterday and had a good, long conversation, and I'm convinced that there's a lot of activity that's, and we ask you to make data-driven decisions. And in this case, maybe we don't have a report, let's just say, that has all that in it. Now, there are reports, there are software programs and all that you can get. I want to be careful we don't get into something that's, you have to hire another person just to handle a report to produce the information that we already know. But it may be something out there that's available. And please feel free, commissioners, to ask any questions, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I think we should do. We should leave the posting in place on our retreat day, which is not that far away. And then we have, Dustin, give me the date of the retreat and the next meeting, posted meeting.
Yes, sir. So date of the retreat is Monday, June 3rd. Then the next posted Commissioners Court meeting is that Tuesday, June 4th.
Yeah. So the purpose of that would be, it would give the commissioners an opportunity from now to then to really be thinking about the relationship and how the engineering department works with each commissioner, each precinct rather. And then is there anything they want different? I mean, it's the commissioner's responsibility to manage those precincts, and engineering's another resource that they have, along with HR and accounting and audit, those things. And so it would give them a time to be able to communicate with Zane of this is the way we're doing it, but here's how going forward, and give him some ideas that they might have on maybe a little bit different structure or a better way to communicate or all. But the staff situation, so I think there's limitations that he's got on being able to communicate with the precincts just because he's understaffed. And I'm not, Zane, I'm not trying to speak for you, you're welcome to speak to it, but what I'm thinking is we can, and I don't know whether I guess, Dustin, we'd defer it, but it would be back on the agenda and dealt with the day after the retreat, which is next week or?
It'd be
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks from yesterday.
And I'm not saying pull the posting either. I'm saying it's posted now, right?
It's posted now, so there are, the existing position is posted. We have not posted the new position.
We need to get the new
Whoa,
one posted.
whoa, whoa, we haven't posted the new position yet?
Right, waiting for clarification on is the intent to hire, just in case we get 2 applicants.
We got to get.
No,
we
our
gotta
intent,
get-
when that motion was made a couple of weeks ago, was to
last
get that
week.
done.
Yeah.
And
now.
then we have a 3rd posting, and that's a part-time position that was created last year. So that,
I thought that was a give up. Are we giving that up?
so that's kind of why I'm here. I want to be sure we don't have a pool of applicants in a position that might not have a,
Yeah.
We need to
Long
fill
term.
that position that we approved 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
As soon as possible. We can discuss the other part, but I thought that was a done deal.
And so, Dustin, you might have the minutes of that. Is that correct or not? I'm sure they're right, but,
Right, well, we approved that position, and I think like Anna said, she was just seeking clarity on, just on the assistant county engineer, the county engineer assistant position, plus the part-time position, just trying to navigate all that.
that would be another suggestion.
Those 2 others are complete, that's not even in this, I mean, that's not a part of this, that was not a part of the question last week. We approved the position last week, and we haven't posted it yet?
Right, because another suggestion I would make is not to have 2 concurrent positions that are so similarly titled. So we would also want to retitle the new position.
We created the position.
Right.
Our intent was to get that filled as soon as possible.
Okay. I recommend changing the title to an engineering specialist position. It's the same function.
And I thought and then I, tell me if I'm wrong here, I thought we were fine with engineering assistant.
Assistant. That's where we.
If
that
it was the
motion.
sole posting, then that would be great, but because it's concurrently
Why wasn't this
posted-
brought last court session?
So I was unprepared last court session because without data, I would not have put it on the agenda. But having it on the agenda, then if there's a need there, the court identified, then move forward with it. But these are all items usually I like having ironed out
So
before placing on an agenda.
We are ready. If I'm speaking out of turn, let me know. We are ready to fill the engineer assistant as soon
You're
as
saying
possible.
change it, the title on that, so
Yes.
you'd still fill it. She just.
Well, whatever, at this point, yeah.
So
And
you
I
don't-
hate to use
so
that word.
That doesn't concern you if the title is different to be able to.
It's
fill
up
it.
to, that's,
And I'm good with it, Commissioner. If
Okay,
if they're
all right.
changing the title to engineering specialist
Yeah.
from engineering assistant.
Still have the person.
Right, it's, the duties are still the same, the salary range is still the same, it's just a title change, that makes no difference to me. Engineering specialist is fine if that fits into the human resources list of titles available, that's fine.
And that's just to minimize confusion from applications seeing two such similar titles posted simultaneously.
That's the effort we've been working on to be sure to match those up properly.
Right.
So the only other question has to do with the part-time.
So I had a part-time position, I do have a part-time position. They worked roughly 1 year, and their position goes until the end of this fiscal year, is funded to the end of this fiscal year. And she recently left service to follow other pursuits. And so we currently are posted that position and trying to fill that position. We are intending to have interviews probably next week and fill the position for the rest of this fiscal year. And hopefully, with the court's approval, we will continue to be able to fill that position in the next fiscal year. And that position is doing a lot of scanning of old property real estate cards that we probably have 5,000 to 10,000 to scan. And the intent is once all those get scanned, we can put them online for the public, including the real estate people and the title people. This is historic information that they sometimes need to when they're abstracting and going back and looking at historical property information. And then after that, if those get scanned, then I will be having that person scan old plans into our system so that we can have that at our fingertips on the computer. So there's plenty of work for the part-time position. I also use the engineering intern to do some of that work as well. So
That position was originally created in February of '23 to account for an employee's family medical leave. And that family medical leave is now ended. And the work volume here related, that's new information.
So, that's the thing we always fear is you create something that never goes away. It's created for a part-time thing to do. Scanning, I can see trying to catch up on that. But once that's done, we still have the position and we're make work to keep them on, and that's like a long-term liability because government's not very good at putting people to do a job and that job's done to get rid of that person. Business does it all the time.
And that's why I like the fact that when we do, have a kind of a reorg like this, maybe somebody does give up, we do give up the part-time or
Yeah.
So essentially turning the part-time into full-time, so I'm generally okay with that.
So what's at hand then are the two
Yeah, right,
positions.
but it's not an issue. Yeah.
The part-time it wouldn't be in this decision, but he would have an opportunity during the discussion at the retreat to talk about that. And the workload and what the relationship is gonna be going forward with all the road and bridge group, because there's gonna be more people and more time to be able to dedicate. I think that I would wanna know exactly what they're gonna do, who's gonna be in the field, who's gonna be in the office, who's gonna be doing what. Is that, I don't know if y'all are the ones dealing with it directly.
You know, and I agree with Commissioner Jones, when the motion was made 2 weeks ago, I guess, it was my understanding or intention that that engineering person, that job still be posted. Given the fact we haven't filled it in 2 years, and given the fact that we don't have to hire anyone, even if somebody applied, we have that option. I wanted to keep it on the table. We haven't had any luck in 2 years. I don't see that changing, to be honest with you, so.
So, Dustin, does that, if that's correct, I mean, I'm sure it is, that those decisions are already made, is there, I guess the only action item would be to defer any action on the part-time until we can discuss it more.
Other than changing the name of that.
And changing the title.
Yeah, I think we could change the title today. There was just there was some discussion at the end of last court session on converting the assistant county engineer spotlight to $1 placeholder, and then I believe it was talked about holding that until budget. So I think that's where the confusion started. But yes, so it's technically posted. We can change the title to HR's recommendation and then be able to post that spot today. So you then have the engineer specialist posted alongside the assistant county engineer, if I'm understanding right.
Yes, that's my
How soon
understanding.
can we get that posted, the one that we've already approved?
The one approved last week, we can post that today. The description's ready.
Last
2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago.
May 7th.
Okay,
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay. We can do that when?
We can do that today. The posting, we already have, there was some back and forth on the posting and edits and revisions made, so that's now ready, and we just need to change the title.
Okay,
Let's get it done. Good.
okay.
So I'll make a motion that we change the title of the previously approved engineer assistant
You specialist, yeah.
to specialist.
Engineering specialist.
Pardon me?
Engineering specialist.
And we have, we post that as soon as possible.
Second,
Is that the only change you need to be?
is that everything, Dustin?
Yes, all 3 positions posted and
Okay.
title change.
All right,
And
we have-
then, yeah.
we have a motion second. Any other discussion?
And then we'll have a discussion in 2 weeks on Monday, the 3rd, and Tuesday, the 4th.
Yeah.
Put that out on it as an action item
Yes, and.
on the 4th, and so we can
It's
discuss
really
it.
I want to talk about what y'all's needs are in regards to engineering support, which he's going to be able to have more support, and he wants to, he's got a lot of good ideas. And so let's have that in a discussion. And I would suggest, in the meantime, y'all talk to your foreman and things like that. But, I've always felt like that engineering is a key critical resource to road and bridge. And a lot of times it's not just sending a memo out, it's actually being in the field. It might be that if you have a 7 o'clock meeting in the morning, might be a good time for engineer to go out there and just get that good relationship going now that he'll have time, or his folks, whoever's gonna be assigned to that. And somebody remembers a question that they always wanted to ask the engineer, and there he is right there, or that person. So that's what I want to focus on in the retreat side. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye. 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 Oppose? Pass. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Justin?
Yes, sir. So we can move down to item F, bids, RFPs, RFQs. F1's regarding the scope of services with Mundo and Associates from McLennan County Parks Recreation Open Space Master Plan update. This is authorization to invoice number 6. This totals $7,477.50, and this gets progress to 95% complete. So we just need a motion to approve this invoice.
I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
F2 is authorization of estimate from H&M Landscape and Sprinkler for courthouse landscaping. TJ?
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So before you, we have the front of the courthouse planner plan that H&M has put together for us. So this is kind of the continuation of what we did on the Fifth Street side of the building. We'll use like materials, that way everything matches. So this is kind of cleaning up that shrub area on each side of the steps, as well as putting in some nice decorative beds. So I think you guys have the plan before you. It looks great. We recommend it for approval. And of course, this was already included in the 401 budget for this year. So the money's already been captured. We're just ready to turn it loose.
Okay, I'm all for this. I'd make a motion. We approve it.
Second.
Motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. And I would notice that the blue bonnets in the front of the courthouse really look nice, but I can't smell them. They don't smell like blue bonnets.
No, you can't smell.
You smell like plastic, but thank you. It looks good, and if they could increase the amount of sweeping and all that's up there, it'd be good too, at the entrance. All right?
We
What's
sure
next?
can.
All right.
All right, item F3, authorization and recommendation for bid 24-013, demolition of 415 Columbus Avenue. Ken?
Yes, we received a number of bids on this. We received a bid from American Abatement in the amount of $466,928. I will point out that they did not submit on a bid form that was included in addendum number 1, and so actually it's a little bit less than what it would be if they had used the correct bid form. We received a bid from Arc Abatement in the amount of $193,685. A bid from Grant McKay for $194,395. HCS submitted a bid in the amount of $335,965. Lloyd D. Neighbors Technologies submitted a bid in $184,975. Midwest Wrecking submitted a bid in $161,527. Total Demolition submitted a bid for $505,115, and Vet National submitted a bid for $438,965. I'll share that both Zane and TJ and the engineer that worked on this project with Walker Partners all reviewed the bids. And we would like to recommend that McLennan County grant the award for the demolition of 415 Columbus to Midwest Wrecking in the amount of $161,527. We include a bid tabulation, and we also have the letter of support from Walker Partners on the recommendation from Jared Bierman.
Okay, any questions or comments?
Is there a time frame on starting and ending on how soon?
We'll talk to him this afternoon.
Okay.
I'm assuming you want to do it sooner rather than later.
We will get started as soon as we can get them geared up.
Okay.
Motion to approve purchasing's recommendation of Midwest Wrecking in the amount of $161,527 for the demolition of 415 Columbus Avenue.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those pass.
Good riddance.
Under item G, contracts, interlocal agreements, G1 is authorization of support and maintenance agreement with Excella Technologies for records management. John?
Hello. This item is for Excella Technologies. It's for our digitization equipment. It's just a renewal of the license agreement. Runs from July 11th, 24 until July 10th of 2025. The agreement total is $3,471.32. Slight increase from last year's total of $3,306.02. It has been reviewed and is recommended for approval.
I'll make a motion, we approve that.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
G2, approval of order form agreement with Spectrio LLC for digital signage license for Road and Bridge Precinct 2.
Yes, this item is for the Spectrio license, which allows for digital signage out at Road and Bridge 2. This licensing will display the same kind of information we display at the tax office on that TV or the HR, just to give general county information. The cost, there's one-time setup cost of $275, and then the recurring yearly fees of $1,080 for a total of $1,355. This was requested by Road and Bridge Precinct 2, and it is consistent with all the other digital signage around the county.
Do we have this same stuff at the other precincts?
No, we do not.
So I'm kind of wondering what the purpose would be.
So Tracy, what's your thinking on this?
So our Road and Bridge crew don't always get the right information or the accurate information in a timely manner. Just trying to make sure that they check their emails is really hard, but they're not included in all of the information across the county as the other departments are. So that was one thing that I had discussed with IT to see if we can get that information to our Road and Bridge crew, and I also spoke to some other administrative assistants and other, I spoke to Commissioner Perry, that also decided that that was probably a good idea to make sure that our Road and Bridge crew employees are also abreast on all of the information as all of the other employees are abreast across the county.
I'm just imagining it in my precinct is that as the guys come in to the office to say, get their keys or whatever or clock in, that it would be like, right, you would have it somewhere where they see the information right when they walk in, or where are you planning on?
Right, so
putting
it's
it
on
in
the
office?
television. It's on the television. So we didn't have a TV out there previously. We actually have one now, which is 65-inch TV, and Judge Felton has been out there to see the renovations that we've made to the precinct yard. So that will actually roll on the television on a normal basis, on a specific channel.
I thought it was for public, or, something outside the building that the public came by and looked at. Well, there's not that, the public's small out there.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I
Same
understand.
with it.
I understand.
Yeah, just to keep them abreast on all the information, like all the other departments that have access to that information
Gotcha, yeah.
as well.
Good.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Judge.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, John. Okay.
G3, authorization of service order with Charter Communications Operating, doing business as Spectrum Enterprise Video Service for District Attorney's Office. John?
Yes, this item is for the District Attorney's Office for cable service. This has been a standing thing with the DA's office before this DA came in. We did revise the service and decrease the number of receivers from 5 to 3, and decrease the standard TV service from 5, service times 1. So the savings of about $45.10 over the previous service. It is a month-to-month service, so it can be canceled at any time. And they are going to credit roughly 3 months because we've had this service and no one really was using it previously or didn't have it hooked up to the correct.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Second.
All right, my motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Let them pay for their own cable TV.
G4 is regarding the statement of work agreement with Civic Plus, authorization for change order form, development of county mobile app. John?
Oh, and that's another thing. So, the streaming services, work really well now, and they're not exactly free, but it's month to month. So, I mean, I don't know, John, have y'all looked into that at all?
No, they wanted to continue with the existing service that was already there, so we looked at it to make sure that, you know, we didn't have excess amount, but no, we decided to continue the same service. So that's what the DA's office wanted.
YouTube TV and Fubo work just as well.
We can certainly look into those and see if we can lower our costs.
Okay, all right, next item.
Sorry.
Civic Plus.
Sorry, item G4. So what this is, we had the mobile app that the Commissioners Court approved. That app was supposed to be done in April. They ran into some issues, the company did, and it's taken them a little bit longer. They expect to have it now on May 28th. The problem is they started charging us late fees because of their own issue. So what this will do is move that date until June and will allow them to remove all of the current overdue charges. Because we, of course, have not paid them since we don't have the app completed. It has been reviewed and recommended for approval.
Makes sense.
All right, is that a motion?
Yes, it is.
Second.
Have a motion, second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
G5 is regarding the service order with Charter Communications doing business as Spectrum Enterprise, authorization of Ethernet intrastate-only traffic certification for juvenile detention internet service renewal. John?
Yeah, so this order for internet, for a point-to-point internet connection between the juvenile facility on Golson Road and our central facility here on 500 Columbus. The Commissioners Court approved that on 4/15. The problem is the company forgot to send us this tax form. And what this form says is that all the traffic will be intrastate, in other words, inside Texas. And that lets us avoid paying taxes on any interstate. So this has no cost associated, but it will save us money on taxes.
I move we approve it.
Second.
I have a motion, second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass.
G6, authorization of agreement with Lone Star Chiller Systems LLC for courthouse water treatment program for condenser system and chilled hot water loops. TJ?
Yes, so before you have an agreement with Lone Star to conduct all of our water treatment throughout our chiller plants and hot water plants. So this was budgeted last year. They'll take over and treat all of our systems for us. We've reviewed it. It's ready to go. We recommend approval.
Motion to approve. And then I have a quick question. What is the amount compared to last year? Always like to ask on this.
So specialty water services is who we're currently using. So this ups our water treatment plan to include our hot water loop. It's about, I believe, a $7,000 change, but definitely.
But more service?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
TJ, I like the idea of doing the maintenance. It just saves us money in the long run by equipment failure. So it gives us longer usage out of what we currently have.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. I mean, one hiccup is all it takes, and it's $9,000 to $15,000 to pull the tubes and swab them and have everything cleaned up. So this is a very, very crucial part of our service plan.
You bet. Appreciate it.
Motion.
All right.
Need a second.
Second.
Okay, we have a second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass.
G7 is authorization of engineering services agreement and related proposal with Walker Partners for Old Springfield Road waterline improvements. Zane?
Yes, sir. So this is an engineering services agreement with Walker Partners to design an extension of a City of Waco water line up Old Springfield Road from the intersection with Chapel Hill Road near Loop 340. Their fee for this service agreement is $48,690. This water line will be placed in a private easement to allow the water line to not be in the right-of-way. The construction of this water line will be is expected to be paid for with American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funding. And after it's completed, the utility will be dedicated to the city of Waco and become part of the Waco's water distribution system. Their agreement with Walker Partners to do the design work has been reviewed and is recommended for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Is there any time frame on this? I mean, I know this.
We are expected to design it and start advertising for construction within this year.
Okay, great.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and Zane, you can stay there. G8, authorization of professional services agreements and related proposals with Langerman Engineering. G8A is regarding demolition of 415 Columbus Avenue, construction materials testing. And then G8B is regarding Fern Valley Road, cul-de-sac, and low water crossing geotechnical pavement proposal.
Thank you, Dustin. So both of these, G8A and G8B, are both proposals submitted by Langerman Engineering to do geotechnical exploration and materials testing. So on G8A, that is for the demolition of 415 Columbus Avenue. And so that amount for that testing is $8,920. And then G8B is for Fern Valley Road project, and which includes road work, building a cul-de-sac, and rebuilding the low water crossing. And there will be 3 borings to determine what type of soil is beneath the road. And that cost for materials testing is $7,000. Both of these contracts proposals have been reviewed and are recommended for approval.
All right, any questions?
Question. So to tear down a building,
Yeah, I was wondering.
we got to
about
do
that.
all this just to
So
demolish that building?
the demo is a separate issue. This is for when they go back and put the parking lot back in to compact and test the soil, make sure that the compaction is correct, make sure that the flex base that they're putting back in is of proper mixture and materials. So that's what they'll be testing on that.
So,
Compaction, density, standard test.
so we're going to use that as a staging area for the jail renovation. So we're actually going to put a parking lot in there and then stack materials
It's
on
going to
top
be
of it?
the idea is it's going to be a multi-use, both for laydown yard for the contractor to do the downtown jail construction. But then when we do the downtown jail construction, there's 2 offices that will have to be relocated. So we would plan to put them in temporary offices on the same parking lot next to or adjacent to the laydown yard. So then they will need to have a place to park their vehicles. And so we need good compaction for both the temporary shack offices and as well as their where they're going to park their cars.
And then this,
If we can't find.
this
temporary-
report will be available in the future, should we ever decide to build on that property or do anything?
So
with
this is construction materials testing. It will test the actual materials that go on the ground and how
It's
they go
not,
on the ground.
it's not a soil not a soil, not a core test
that?
then.
We're not drilling holes.
We're
out
not
there
drill,
testing.
right, we're not poking holes in the ground. We're testing the materials that are going to be put on the ground in the manner that they're put on the ground after the building is demolished and removed.
And that's what this earthwork is?
Yes.
That means the material that's going to be put on the ground?
Correct. Construction materials testing.
And then the concrete, what are they testing there? Where it says concrete technician, CTB strength, what are they actually, what kind of concrete are we putting concrete down?
So there are some voids. This used to be, of course, an old city bus barn, and they used to change oil, and there's some holes in the ground where they used to collect oil, and I believe they're going to fill those concrete holes with other flowable fill or well, actually, this is CTB. That's for concrete cement-treated base strength. So the cement-treated base is part of the flexible base material that they're going to put down for the parking lot. And so they're going to check the strength of that base with that test. It's not actually concrete, but they use a concrete technician to do the testing.
Okay, okay.
Any other questions?
I hate to ask this, but have we determined or approved what that is gonna become?
The space?
ultimately? Uh-huh.
No, we have not determined ultimately what that space is going to
And
become.
then, so do we need to make that?
The only thing I'm
Approval.
thinking, yeah, and I know what you're saying, and, but, because of its proximity, to the rest of of our footprint, and the campus, I think it'll be the county's for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah.
And there may be, it may be a parking lot for a while, but it may be a building site.
Parking
At some
structure.
point in time, structure, whatever. And so getting this out of the way now is the best time to do it, in my opinion. So I mean, it's just part of what we have to deal with.
As long as we have some long-term benefit from it, I don't have
Yeah.
a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's a one,
So I wouldn't want to have to be hiring Tom Brandt to defend us because we didn't do all the due diligence on the property. All right. Any other-
Recommended for approval.
Okay. I'll make a motion we approve.
is that 8A and 8B?
Yes, sir.
Second?
All right, that motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
G9, authorization of state plan of operation agreement application with the state of Texas for Texas Law Enforcement Support Office, LESO program surplus property for the sheriff's office. Captain Nixon?
So this just opens the door for us to apply for it, right?
Annual application we do.
Yeah, and so that way, if something does come up that y'all see that we need, and you'd still come to the,
Correct, and that allows us to keep the property that we currently have.
yeah.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass. Great presentation.
Good job.
G10, authorization of license agreement with Veritone Incorporated for video audio redaction software for the sheriff's office. Ken or Major Ives?
Yes, Court. This is a piece of software that we're looking for to do video and audio redaction. Currently, we're doing it manually. We only have one employee that does it, and the software that we use currently is not user-friendly. That's why only one employee can do it for us. And with the amount of public information requests we receive, cresting 4,000 per year now, fairly large quantity of those contain audio and video that require redaction for that audio and video. So
Right.
we're looking for this service to do that.
Okay. All right, any questions? Not any questions, I'll make a motion we approve.
Second.
Motion made second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass.
All right, moving on to item H, capital improvement and construction projects. H1's regarding the Castleman Creek watershed floodwater retarding structure site number 2 repair project, contract agreement with Janik and Witten, authorization of change order number 2. Zane?
Yes, sir. So this is for Castleman Creek Watershed Dam Site Number 2. It's currently being repaired, and due to all the rains that we've incurred, the contractor is asking for more time. So he's asking for 14 days additional time. It's a zero-cost change order. Of course, it's due to the weather delays, and so it's recommended for approval.
Makes sense. I'll move.
Second.
Motion been made second. Any other discussion? No discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
And Zane, if you want to stay, we can drop down to H3 regarding construction of Panther Ranch Road Bridge at Rock Springs Creek. Agreement with Knife River Corporation, authorization of application for payment number 5.
Yes, sir. So this is for application number 5 for the bridge that's being built in Precinct 4 on Panther Branch Road. This is their application number 5, totaling $64,791. It's been reviewed and is recommended for approval.
All right, any questions or comments? If not, what's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion made second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
H2 regarding McLennan County Downtown Jail remodel for courtrooms and office space. Agreement with Brinkley Sergeant Wigington, authorization of invoice number 19. This invoice totals $255,595.69. It has been reviewed and is recommended for approval.
All right, and if no questions or comments, I'd make a motion, we approve it.
Second?
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Moving on to item I, budget amendments. I-1s regarding the FY '24 budget. Francis?
Yes, so just two budget amendments today for the current year. So starting with I-1A, this is a budget amendment request in the general fund for the auditor's office, for my office. And we're requesting to move within our department from supplies to furniture and equipment, so that we can replace a printer that is no longer working. The total amendment request is $857. And then I-1B, also in the general fund for the tax office, they are requesting to move within their department to increase software licensing. And this is for an increase in software fees for the truth and taxation software. The total there is $787.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve I-1A and I-1B.
So moved.
Second.
And motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass.
I-1C is discussion and or action regarding incentive pay budget and distribution of incentive pay list to eligible offices. Anna?
While she's coming up, we'll listen to what she says. It's gonna take a lot of discussion, I think, on this, and so the retreat might be a good time, and then the next day we would, but go ahead. Thank you.
I'll just
Yes,
briefly.
Yeah, briefly over.
Yeah, I'll just briefly cover what the request is and the status of evaluations that have been submitted to HR. So we are revisiting the incentive pay budget that was left at $1 placeholder for this fiscal year. That had been the case now this is now the third year that this budget is kind of left like this. And then the court revisits and then has in the past approved to fund that line item. And so we're bringing that dollar placeholder back forward, and we have a request to fund that incentive pay budget for, and this is just the pay directly to the employee itself. It's $594,776. And we have received evaluations, and I need to make a correction. We've received evaluations from every department with the exception of one department. So almost 100% participation in the evaluation program this year. And we want to remind the court that it does tie to employee or workforce training participation. We have that as a condition. It's tied to this incentive pay program. So participation here makes employees eligible. Participation in training makes you eligible for incentive pay. So we have seen a marked improvement in training participation off of the incentive pay program.
Questions?
No, no question. I really appreciate the information supplied here at the bottom. It firms up the pros behind it, and I do appreciate that. And at our retreat, one of the questions I would ask that you would have for us is, how many departments or offices use up their entire budget? How many of them return it? And if they return it, why do they return it? I need an understanding of that. Yeah, of the incentive.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I'd be curious how that works.
Yeah.
And then hopefully between now and then, you can get that other department information
Yes, sir.
and have that ready for us, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I guess make a motion, we approve this report. Would
Or
that
do
be
we need to
appropriate?
defer it?
I think just defer.
Defer it, okay. All right,
Move to defer.
Second.
all right, have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
I-2 is regarding the FY '25 budget. Francis, I don't believe we have anything today. Is that right?
That is correct. I don't have anything today.
All right, moving on, nothing under item J. Under item K, grant proposals. K1 is our ARPA discussion. Have nothing specific today. Going back to that PACES discussion, we hope to have agreements on the agenda today. We're still working through those with the city of Waco and also with Forvis, so hope to have that next court session. K1A is approval of blanket orders for beneficiary and subrecipient agreements. And Mike, we need to defer this, correct?
That's correct. Francis and I and the engineers need to figure out how to define the project.
Okay.
Motion to defer.
Have a motion and a second to defer. Any other questions, comments? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass.
K1B is authorization of legal services invoice from Haley and Olson for ARPA matters for April 2024. This invoice totals $1,660 for their April legal services related to ARPA. It's been reviewed and recommended for approval.
Motion to approve.
I'll second. I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
K2 is regarding the Bureau of Justice Assistance Patrick Leahy Bulletproof Vest Partnership BVP program, authorization of grant application submission for FY24. This is the annual grant we apply for Bulletproof Vest, and we just need motion to approve the authorization of the submission of this grant application.
All right, I'll make a motion. We approve. Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass.
K3, authorization of fiscal year 2024 Consolidated Local Central Services 2 CFR 200 cost allocation plan and indirect cost rate proposal. Francis?
Yes, so this is just our fiscal year 24 indirect cost rate calculation proposal. This is something that is a federal requirement. The indirect cost rate for the year is 25.89%. And so, that's used for grant purposes if an indirect cost rate needs to be utilized.
Okay, any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
K4 is regarding the United States Department of Agricultural, Natural Resources Conservation Services Watershed and Flood Prevention Operations Program, recording of no-cost extension of time amendment number 2 for Castleman Creek Site number 2 remedial repair. Zane?
Yes, sir. So this is the same Castleman Creek Site Number 2 dam repair project. The NRCS recognizes that we've received a lot of flooding and additional rains, and they know that the contractor is going to need additional time to construct and complete construction of the dam, as well as allow for the grass seeding to take hold and provide vegetative erosion control. So they're recommending to extend the funding agreement through the end of this fiscal year, being September 30th, 2024. And so I'm fully in agreement with that, and it's been reviewed and recommended for approval.
Okay, I'll make a motion we approve.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under item L, Department Office Specific Requests, L1's Road and Bridge Precinct 4, authorization of reimbursement for tire damage. Judge, did you want to move forward with this today or wait until Commissioner Perry's back?
I mean, it's no big.
I know, the only thing I'm concerned about these kind of things is setting the precedent. Every
yeah,
time
right.
somebody hits a chug hole, I mean, we try our best to keep our roads in good condition, but from time to time, it's only $300 or less than that. What do y'all, how do y'all, I don't want to get in a long discussion about it because we're running out of time, but.
I think this would be another discussion item for our
All right, I make a
retreat.
motion, we defer it.
Second.
All right, I have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass.
L2, Information Technology. L2A is authorization of administrator access policy and related authorization request form. And L2B is authorization of multi-factor authentication agreement. John?
Hello, I'll try to be quicker this time.
Okay, so in that case, can we talk about this one at the retreat also too, and then defer it to our, I'm good, if there's something we need with the multi-factor authentication agreement, but I'd like to look a little further into the policy aspects.
Yes, there's no urgency to this.
Motion to defer.
All right, we have a motion to defer. I'll second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
All right, moving on to item M. M1, discussion and or action regarding retired patrol vehicle request from Mark Volunteer Fire Department. This can be deferred again.
Motion to defer. Second.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
M2, selection designation of public members of the Salary Grievance Committee regarding the FY25 budget. I don't believe we need any action at this time.
All right, or no action.
M3, authorization to host court night for the 104th Annual County Judges and Commissioners Association of Texas Conference, including authorization of letter of support. We're still working with Wes on the dates of that 2026 fair, so if we could defer this again.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we defer.
Second.
Have motion second, any discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
M4, McLennan County Group Employee Health Insurance Committee, authorizations regarding committee member selection. And Judge, I think it'd be okay to defer this again as well.
I'll make a motion, we defer.
Second.
Have a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
M5, approval of order declaring certain property as surplus and authorizing the sale of said surplus property. It's for a 1994 BOMAG to the city of Mart. So Ken or Tracy, would you like to handle?
I can talk about it. The city was offered this once before, and the city manager at that time turned it down, but the new acting, or I guess he's the city manager, has said he's got an interest in it. He knows how to work on them, and they would be appreciative if they could purchase this, and it looks like the value was set at $2,500.
Yes, sir, and I think that's a fair price.
Okay, so I would make a motion that we authorize transfer of this asset in consideration of $2,500 to the city of Mart.
Second.
Have a motion second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass.
Right, M6 is authorization of refund requests for overpayment of real estate taxes under the Texas Property Code. Those refund requests are listed in your packet, and just as a reminder, only overpayments or erroneous payments in excess of $2,500 must be approved by the Commissioners Court.
Okay, and actually, we have no choice in this, I don't think. You have to do it, so.
Motion to approve.
All right, that motion, and I'll second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
Right, moving down to item M8, authorization of Texas Association of Counties total loss and equipment offer, auto, under tax claim number 648-1. Francis?
Yes, this is just a request for you to accept the total loss offer. It was for a 2021 Dodge Durango. It was total due to fire damage. The total they are offering is $28,414 for the vehicle and $14,258.17 for the equipment.
Okay, I'm assuming it's been totally reviewed, and this seems to be appropriate, so I'd make a motion. We approve the total loss offer. Can we have a second? Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass.
M9 is authorization of letter of support for the COVE for the FY24 Runaway and Homeless Youth Prevention Demonstration Program grant application. It's pretty self-explanatory. They requested this letter of support from the county for this grant program, so we just need a motion to approve this letter of support.
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass.
M10, authorization to submit requests for unclaimed property capital credits from Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts. Comptroller sent us this letter indicating the county could possibly have a portion of unclaimed property capital credits from the electric cooperative, so we just need to have this request submitted back by July 31st.
All right, I'll make a motion. We accept free money.
No move. Second.
I have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass.
M11, discussion and action regarding the Commissioners Court retreat meeting. It's been scheduled for Monday, June 3rd, starting at 9 a.m. at the Emergency Operations Center. We have a list of potential retreat topics in your packet, plus I know several more have came up today that we will add to this list.
Okay, great. I look forward to it. The last one was productive, and I think we'll know if and when we need another one after this meeting. So I think you might put on there decision for the next meeting, something like that. Okay.
Sounds.
All right. And this looks all right to y'all. I'll make a motion. We approve this list and look forward to working on it.
Yeah. Second.
And motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
Moving down to item P, McLennan County Radio Tower Project. P1's regarding system purchase agreement with Motorola Solutions. These are all certificates of completion. P1A is completion of microwave acceptance test plan. P1B is regarding final project acceptance for the microwave, and P1C is regarding final project acceptance for the simulcast system. We just need a motion to accept those for recording.
All right, excitingly make a motion to approve P1A, P1B, and P1C. We have motion second, any other discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass.
And Judge, that should be all the action items, and we just do need to go into executive session.
All right, so here's what we'll do. We're gonna go into executive session now, but we'll reset, we'll actually, while we're setting up, anybody needs to take a break, do so. We're going under section 551.071 of the government code as an executive closed session, and we would ask that Dustin Chapman and the commissioners be present, along with the guest. Do we need to name all them? Dustin, why don't you do that?
Hey, so it'll be Tom Brandt, Steve Henniger, and Andrea Beard from TAC.
Okay, all right. Okay, anyone, 5 minutes? Yeah.
I didn't know it.
Recording in progress.
Back into order. All right, it is 12:08. Is there anything else to come before the court? If not, we stand adjourned.